Gina, we have to talk to you.
Is butter a carb?
Yes. Gina, you're wearing sweatpants. It's Monday.
So? So that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us. Whatever. Those rules aren't real. They were real that day I wore a vest, because that vest was disgusting. You can't sit with us!
That's a scene from Mean Girls, the movie that brought bullying to the big screen. But the reality is not so funny. Bullying seems to be making headlines more and more, most recently with the viral video of kids tormenting sweet Karen Klein, the 68-year-old bus monitor. Remember this one? Until she was in tears.
So how can you make sure your kid isn't the one doing the bullying? And how do you teach your child to stand up to the tough guys or the tough girls? Jennifer Hartstein is a parenting and adolescent therapist. And Kelly Wallace is the chief correspondent for iVillage.
Welcome, ladies.
Nice.
Yeah, nice to be the chief.
Title.
Yeah, I mean, two things bothered us very much the first time we saw it. Number one, that these children were bullying this very sweet, innocent, vulnerable lady that broke your heart. Number two, no other children seemed to stand up to the bullies and do the right thing and make them stop. What are we to make of all of this?
Well, that's a big question. I'm a parent. I have two little girls, 6 and 4.5, and a lot of moms at iVillage have been talking about this, about what can we do. And one of the things is teaching empathy, right?
Yes.
So you can even use this as a teachable moment. Show your kids, if they're old enough to see it and deal with it, and say, how would you feel if you were in that situation?
Or that was your grandma.
Or that was your grandmother.
Right.
What would you do? And in a way, once you switch the roles and the kids see what it would feel like to be in that situation, it gives them a little bit more confidence, I think, to stand up.
You wonder about why some kids are bullies in the first place. Sometimes they come from parents who are bullies, and we've seen that. Sometimes it's something they've been bullied themselves.
So
But did they learn it someplace?
Yeah.
Well, those are two really important reasons, right? They might have it modeled for them so that the people and adults in their lives are bullies, so then they think that that's normal behavior. They might have been bullied, so then they turn it around. Maybe they have some really low self-esteem, so they join in, which is seemingly what might have happened on this bus, to feel like they're part of the in crowd and they're popular. Or maybe there's something going on at home that no one really knows about. And that's
you don't want
causing
to
them
judge
to
till you
act
know
out.
some details. But what about the kids who don't say a word?
Yep.
There's an age-old thing called the bystander effect. They kind of are waiting for someone else maybe to step in, and that could be part of it. The other part of it we have to consider is these are 4 kids bullying somebody. Am I going to be the dissenter, and are they going to turn on me?
Right.
And how am I going to feel about that? And there's a real fear in that in kids, especially 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
Should you, if your kid gets bullied, pretend, Kelly, and he comes home and he says, or she says to you, Mom, this happened, a lot of parents will say, you stand up to that person. You don't let that person push you around. You push them back or something like that. Is that a good technique, bad technique?
You know, it's so funny because I took out this book, The Berenstain Bears and the Bully, thinking in a way this could be a good discussion piece, right? But one of the messages in there is the sister bear, when she gets bullied, she's learning to box so that she can beat up the bully. And that's not quite what we want.
Though?
Well, I mean, I think we want confidence in our kids. Certainly for my girls, I want confidence.
Violence is not the answer.
It is not the answer. I want them to use their words, express your emotions, reach out to a grown-up, talk to other people, use some of those resources around them, because violence is not the answer.
Is it true that most bullies are really cowards? That if somebody stands up to them, they will actually back off?
Right.
There's often this mask. I'm putting on a mask to show you that I'm so tough. There's been research out that says the popular kids that are the bullies continue to be bullied so that they stay popular. There's this myth of wanting to do that. So yes, if you can stand up, and even if it's not with violence, even if it's being able to say, I am not going to accept that you treat me this way.
Right.
And this is not okay to me.
Right.
So
and I think if parents can teach that, that'd be really helpful.
And one of our moms also talked about, she talks to our kids about the bullied and what the victim feels like, but also about the bully. I thought this was so interesting. She tries to teach her kids compassion for the bully, that something's clearly going on in that child.
I had
to
taught
reach out
Cody
and,
that
and
years
taught other kids that way.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry. I taught him years ago about that. And then I heard him talking to actually Christine's little nephew one time, and he goes, Codes, why do you think that kid does those bad things? And I heard Cody say what I had said to Cody, which is, maybe he doesn't have a mommy and a daddy who love him. And I just thought, whoa, he was listening. Wow.
Well, I think that's the key. They're always listening. And so we want to give those messages to them that are clear.
Thanks, ladies.
so much.
Thanks for coming to see us.
Great to see you.